The economy.
Yeah.
The president's also going to leave office, I believe, with the distinction of being the first president since Herbert Hoover not to experience a year of growth at 3% GDP. That's correct, right?
I hadn't heard that statistic, but we can certainly look into it to confirm it for you.
That's what I've read.
Okay. We'll look into it.
Assuming that is the truth, what does the president accept responsibility for that as well? And how do you explain that sluggish growth has been a problem throughout the years? How do you explain that? How do you square that with the historic job growth and so on and so forth? And I think the other thing is that some would argue that the slow growth is in part what's contributed to this feeling of anxiety in the country, that things aren't getting better, and that in fact may be one of the crucial variables that swung the election, if you want to keep going on down this road of life. The question is, how much responsibility does the president accept for the sluggish growth thing? Because I think you're going to say, well, look where we started, and look what Congress did and didn't do, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say a couple things about that. I think the first is that the President of the United States is somebody who takes responsibility for what happens in this country while he's president. And President Obama has certainly done that in a variety of settings. Many observers have indicated the important role that the private sector plays in driving our economy. And President Obama has been the first to acknowledge that. He himself gives credit to the private sector driving our recovery. And that recovery has been historic. The president himself has also frequently made the observation that the financial crisis that the United States encountered was not just significant, it was historic. The largest recession in our nation's history since the Great Depression. And all that occurred right as President Obama was taking office. And so we were digging out of an historically large hole, certainly the largest hole that any president faced, dating back to the early stages of the 20th century.